Garbarino, the Republican from New York's 2nd District, who serves on not only financial services but also Homeland Security, where in fact he is chair, and that's why this is central to the conversation that we're having. Mr. Chairman, welcome back to Bloomberg TV and radio. It's great to see you. Do you share Denver Riggleman's concerns when we talk about multi-billion-dollar deals with the likes of Saudi Arabia, knowing that China built a good amount of Saudi Arabia's internet infrastructure, and there are worries about this getting into the wrong hands? Do you share them?
Well, absolutely. It's always a concern. When we develop great technology here and then we export it, it's always a concern that it gets into the wrong hands. Because that's what the bad guys do. So I'm always concerned that the good work that we do here falls in the wrong hands, which is why we have to be extra vigilant in making sure that we protect our critical infrastructure here at home to protect against these foreign actors if they get access to this technology.
Mr. Chairman, I know among the things that you're working on in this space is looking at Anthropic and their concerns that there was a Chinese hack of their AI technology. I'm wondering, where do we stand on that? Have you seen the evidence of that case?
Well, we haven't. The federal government has not determined, FBI says they have not determined if it is if it was a Chinese backed attack. Anthropic did come out in its report saying that China was behind it. What I do know is it was the most aggressive use of AI in a cyber attack. We've seen AI being used by the bad guys in cyber attacks for years now, but this was the most aggressive use, and it is very concerning that it could just get worse. So one thing I've been talking about with the private sector, 85% of our critical infrastructure is held by the private sector, is controlled by the private sector, is if the bad guys are going to be using AI to attack us, we should be using AI, implementing that in our cyber defenses, because it's going to be impossible to fight this aggressive use of AI in cyber attacks by just human intervention and defense alone. So we have to step up our game.
You need AI to beat AI. It brings us to, speaking of cyber and AI, some of the legislation that you're putting forth, Mr. Chairman. The Pillar Act supports state and local cyber programs, as well as strengthening cyber resilience against state-sponsored threats act that would create a joint task force focused on external threats, the likes of which we're discussing right now. Does this argue with the type of deal that we were just discussing between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, or help to make it possible?
Well, I think the second bill you mentioned, the one dealing with the foreign state actors, is hugely important because it's actually going to help us streamline our response to these attacks by our foreign adversaries. We kind of did this after 9/11, where we had intelligence agencies that were not talking to each other, and then after 9/11, we made them so they had to talk to each other and they had to share information. Now our cyber border is a new battlefield, and making sure that the FBI, CISA, other federal agencies are sharing information and sharing it also with the private sector, so we can protect against these foreign adversaries, especially when it comes to attacks on our critical infrastructure. That is something that, and why I'm so proud this bill passed. Hopefully the Senate moves it, so we can streamline our response to the thousands and thousands and thousands of attacks that we see every day from foreign actors from the likes of China, Russia, North Korea, and the other bill, the Pillar Act. The federal government has a lot of money; they have a lot of expertise, but our state and local governments, municipalities, counties, mayors, the cities, they don't have the money, they don't have the expertise, even though they also control a lot of critical infrastructure. So this grant program is a continuation of one that's been going on. Will help these local governments stay protected because they need it. And I think this year we've said 44 states have been hit by cyber attacks. So we need to prepare them so they can defend against these cyber attacks as well. So very proud of the two pieces of legislation that passed the House this week.
Mr. Chairman, let's talk about the other side of the equation, too. Of course, as you're aware, the debate has been raging this year between the strict national security hawks and those who are taking kind of a more pro-tech stance. Some in the White House kind of are trying to find that nice middle ground there. You mentioned protections earlier. I'm wondering, how does this apply to the TikTok case? We haven't heard movement on that. The Chinese, of course, said that they're ready to help resolve the issue. Where do you think that will fall? I know you voted for the divestiture ban, the so-called bill.
Well, it's again, we're waiting for information, like you said. It's going to be interesting to see who's controlling the algorithm, who's controlling the data. This is all questions that we haven't gotten the answers to yet. I understand that a lot of people want TikTok to continue, but I have major concerns over what happens with that data. So I'm going to save judgment on what I think of the final deal until I get some more information on it. But I am very concerned about who controls the data, who controls the algorithms, and it's something that myself and my colleagues are keeping a close eye on. But data protection across the board, all these new technologies that are coming, the use of AI. I am a major proponent of including when Congress acts, when the federal government acts on laws or regulations, there should be some sort of cybersecurity protections built into these regulations, into these requirements, into the language, so we have that extra protection for our people.
Congressman, tomorrow's a big day for New York here in Washington. As you well know, the mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani is going to be in the Oval Office for a meeting that he requested. The president has been talking about this on Truth Social, and just now the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, said that a communist is going to be coming to the White House tomorrow. What do you hope comes from this meeting? What's this all about?
Well, I appreciate the president taking the time to meet with the new mayor, the mayor-elect. But my main focus is, as a New Yorker and chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, is that New York remains a safe place to live, visit, and work. And I hope the president makes clear to the mayor that past anti-police comments, his past anti-police rhetoric is not going to. It's not going to last. It's not going to exist. He can't act this way as mayor. And if he does anything that makes New York less safe, the president has my support in doing what he needs to do in making sure it stays safe. Next year's the 25th anniversary.
It could be a schooling tomorrow.
Yeah, look, this is an important topic. Next year's the 25th anniversary of 9/11. This was, the Department of Homeland Security, the Committee of Homeland Security, this started after 9/11. So I'm not going to sit by, and the president's not going to sit by, if the mayor decides that his policies are going to make New York less safe. We're not going to put up with it. And, I hope the president makes that painfully clear tomorrow in the meeting. I'm sure they'll discuss other things, but my number one concern is making sure New York City remains a safe place.
Well, we'll be keeping our eyes and ears on this. Congressman Andrew Garbarino, Republican from New York, second chair of the Homeland Security Committee. It's great to have you with us, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for your insights today on Bloomberg TV and radio. I'm Joe